So let's begin. Welcome. As we know from last week, a couple of interesting things happened. First, you all noticed Nim's almost addiction-like, but sort of her need to touch the gem, kind of the pain that she was in. And all of you had reached out to her when you sort of saw her just shove her hand into her satchel really quick. And as you did, you all experienced a vision. And in that vision, you saw yourselves, maybe 10 levels higher than you are now, years from this point in time. Each of you badasses in your own right. And you saw yourselves facing this creature, this night walker in the Tavern of Realms. And as you watched people die, you saw Kirin, everyone hold open a portal for him, and watched him travel through right at the same time that you all saw Grim get sliced in half by what Grim whispered was the Night Mother. As Kirin traveled back...
What is it?
Resident badass. As Kirin traveled through the portal and traveled back in time with the directive of don't fail the way we did, he arrives in the tavern in Faerune, the Stone Hill Inn, and literally crashes through a table and is bleeding out, missing his arm, just gushing Genasi blood all over the place. And
that stuff doesn't come out, right?
in your haste to save his life, you follow Dareth's advice and go to the docks, where you expect to meet an old Earth Genasi who has medical experience, who can help his own kind. Instead, you find Captain Persian Cassire waiting for you in Yassin's ship. Glorious, multi-decked, flags unfurled, sails billowing in the wind. And as you all go aboard and you are led down to the cabins, Captain Persian locks you in his jail and latches it with 3 cross beams that go across the door. Now, inside you do meet Abarath, who is an Earth Genasi, who does help restore Kirin to almost full life and restores his arm, but at great cost to himself. Abarath is dying because of what he gave. Kirin and Abarath share a moment talking about their home of basalt. And right before we ended our session, you all heard this chain being jingled at the edge of the jail area where you're all trapped in. And as you all approach, Grim making herself more intimidating, pretty much everybody sort of behind her, Kirin sort of looking up, kind of, just deep in emotional thought, but wanting to see what has interested the party, you encounter Old Greg, Yassin's former first mate, traitorous little dwarf who has been chained to the wall and staring at Yassin with just these bloodthirsty eyes. And Yassin gets down on his knee, gets up in Old Greg's face, and just growls at him. What have you done with my ship?
Oh, yeah.
And so that is where we will start tonight's session. What a great way to end it. And so I'm excited for this. We are going to start in our jail cell with Yassin in Greg's face. Now, Greg is this, and I'm trying to, there it is, Zajail. I have sounds for Zajail. There we are. So you hear that you can hear the ship, the creaking of the ship as it's on the water. Earlier, many of you kind of looked out the small portholes that are there. They're about head-sized portholes. And you can see that you are out in open water. So now you feel the rocking of the boat. I would like everybody to make a Constitution saving throw for me, please. Everybody in the party.
No.
All
Nim,
five of
Nim
you.
doesn't get seasick.
Natural 20.
Damn.
Oh.
20.
Damn.
All right, nice.
Con?
Yep, Constitution save. All right. Grim starting strong.
11.
11, okay.
16.
16, good.
24.
24, and Kirin's
15, because my Constitution saving throw modifier is very high.
nice.
I forgot I might have one.
It was-
You don't know where that is.
But charisma, not so good.
It's up at the top where you
Oh,
see
no.
like there's going to be a small
25.
box. There, 25. There we go. So you're all good. You had to beat a 10. So
Oh.
Nim was right there at 11. Most of you
I'm
are
fine,
are
I'm fine.
fine. Like you don't feel anything. The rocking of the boat doesn't do a thing to you. You're not seasick. But Nim, you have a moment where the boat kind of hits a wave and sort of jumps a bit, and you're like, but you keep it in. You're good. You're just right on the brink there.
Not used to being on boats. It's not a big thing to me. All right.
Old Greg looks up at you, Yassin, and you can see that. I mean, he was old before. They called him Old Greg because he was an old ass dwarf, gray hair, ratted clothes. But you can tell that he is probably half the size that he used to be. When you knew him years ago, he was a stocky, burly, old son of a gun. Like you knew him as something to be feared, but he has lost maybe 50 pounds of muscle. He's thin, sickly thin for a dwarf. And you can tell that he's probably been chained up for a while. You notice that his wrists have been rubbed raw because he's been constantly banging on the chains. You're not sure if it's a sort of an insanity thing or if he honestly tried to get away, but nothing's budged. There are no weak spots in any of his chain links or where he's tied up to the wall. So you imagine there's this link of chains coming from the wall down to where his shackles are in his hands. He's got full range of motion, but he can't reach further than his hands can extend. So you do have, you're right outside of his range. Like he couldn't grab you if he wanted to. But he doesn't. He looks up at you and he has this moment of hatred as he hears you say your ship, but then he starts coughing, just and when he does, a little bit of blood kind of just trickles out of his mouth. He has some sort of a sickness. You know seasicknesses quite well, and he's either got scurvy or malaria or something that you've seen on boats constantly. He's not doing well. He's probably been in this prison for maybe years, just locked up, barely fed. But he looks up at you and he goes, Yassin, I think at this point, it ain't either of our boats, boy. It belongs
Oh,
to his
great.
royal assholeness. Captain Person Cassile, son of a bitch. What brought you back here?
Let's see.
How you gonna play this?
You come back.
Good cop, bad cop.
Astrella's back up.
Australia, you can't touch it. You got no problem.
Rescue me. Oh, you finally come to finish it off. You killed everyone else, but you kill me too. And my damn misery.
So old prospectors talking
Old-
shit, man.
Old Greg's still smart.
That's what it is.
I tell him not yet, but it could change at any moment. If I don't like what I hear.
I don't like it either, boy. You think I like getting it dragged out from under me the way I dragged it out from under you?
Karma,
You
bitches.
I think Yassin kind of gets up and like moves away before he does something, like kind of turns his back away and
Don't
is
you
like
turn your back on me, boy.
Boy.
Hey, you better than that.
Does Greg have like a hat on or anything, or is he just, he's hatless?
He's hatless.
Aw.
He's wearing. He looks like he was wearing probably what used to be very fine seafaring clothes, a jacket, a button-up vest, trousers, but they've been chewed on by rats and time, and also just wear and tear, as if he's constantly been rubbing and stuff. So there are holes and patches. He's dirty. He smells like ass.
Well, then I'm going to grab my notebook out of my bag and just kind of go up to him and go on the front of his head and be like, "Shut up."
Him's the bad cop.
Good comeback.
If you ain't gonna kill me, then what y'all doing just standing around me for?
Question.
Actually, I just came over here because Nim was being creepy, and I love when she scares people, so it was really fun. But now I know you stole his boat, so hush. No need.
You know, I like you. Bit fire. You got yourself a good crew again, Yassin. I'm impressed, especially with that scary bitch over there. And of course, he's pointing at you, Grim.
I had no doubt it was me.
Question.
Yep.
We are all still armed, correct?
Yes, you are.
Oh.
Sure.
Kirin notices that like everybody has still got their gear and kind of coming to. He says, "Sorry to jump into all of this, but why would this Captain Persian not take our weapons and at least do any kind of a search out of curiosity before putting us in here? Is he trying to hold us here for a purpose, or are we actually detained?"
That's about when Nim actually realizes she still has her weapon, and she's like, "Oh, yay!" And she hugs her staff. Well, I don't know much about this man.
Yeah. We just
Apparently, he's not very smart.
You all have no idea what's going on, do you?
No. We just came back to get his boat. That was kind of a deal with Mr. Whatever his name is.
Casa. Oh, I remember when he came aboard my boat. And he looks
Oh.
at you, Yassin.
Yasin pulls out the blade. He's like approaching him.
Do it, finish me. And he like leans against his chain right
Oh.
up to like where you draw your blade. And he's just, his neck is, he's like, do it, see if I care. I don't care no more.
What if I put my hand to Yassin and I'd be like, if you really want him to suffer, don't cut the neck, but cut somewhere else.
Intimidation.
We're a rough bunch.
Greg looks at you, Grim, and he just gives you just this like toothy grin. And he's like, oh, you would have liked being aboard my ship. You and me could have made sweet music. A little more blood just kind of just like whoop, plop, and just kind of splats onto the deck.
So nasty.
I know.
I'd be like, a pass.
I know exactly
Yeah.
what
So,
Captain is up to. But I ain't just gonna tell you for free.
So what was that sentence? I heard a little.
yes.
Oh, he said through death hacks, he knows exactly what the captain's up to, but he's not going to tell you for free.
What if we promise to kill you afterwards?
Yeah.
I don't think he has much to bargain with.
We'll throw him into the water after.
I have a lot to bargain with, dear. Killing me now killing me later. I don't care. I want freedom.
You want, that's what you want? That's what you want?
Isn't that what you want, little girl? You want to be trapped in here with me for years? I won't live much longer, and I'm already putrefied.
And never call me that again.
You like that, little girl? Little girl?
I try to hand my book to Grim.
Okay, punch him with my metal arm in the jaw.
In the jaw.
Roll damage.
Ooh.
Just roll a d20 and tell me what number you get.
14.
14.
Woo!
You feel like something break in Greg's face as you connect with him.
Don't
It's
break
like
his
somewhere in,
face.
like,
We need him to talk.
cheekbone
Yeah,
area,
dude.
and you just hear him start like cackling. Like he doesn't even acknowledge the pain. He is just laughing with this maniacal glee. And you're watching his I'm gonna say it's his right eye. You're watching his right eye just kind of swell up a bit. And he goes, couple more of those, and I'll be right as rain.
Quick insight check on Aberrath. What was his response to that? Like, what was his reaction, facial expression?
Oh, yeah.
Looking for
Aberrath
his
is
like
still-
kind of connection to him.
So I'll give you don't even have to roll for this one. Aberrath winces as he watches Greg get punched, and you sense from him a kindred spirit with Greg. Not that he likes the guy, but that
You've been stuck there.
they've been
Mhm.
stuck there, and so he at the very least pities him and pities himself because he goes, "That'll be me like another year from now." Like that's what you're feeling, kind of ebb off of him.
So why are we talking to him when
Yeah, Astrella's gonna turn from all this and talk to Aberrath and ask him how long he's been here and what he's seen, what's going on.
Sure. Aberrath, look, he's able to kind of sit and lean against kind of these back jail bars.
Yeah, hold on. Can I like maybe make him feel better before I throw a bunch of questions at him because he just
What I will say is that you can make him feel better. You can't save his life.
yes.
Ooh.
I can just make him more comfortable.
Eases suffering.
Correct.
Okay.
So you can do that. Just describe for me what you want to do to ease his suffering. Doesn't have to be a specific spell.
Okay. Oh gosh, I don't have anything. Okay, I'm assuming because I've got all my shit on me, I would give him some herbs, some medicine, kind of lean him up, maybe like grab my cloak, kind of roll it up and kind of put it behind him just so he's not like against the hardwood.
And you just watch him sort of sink into this herbal tea that you've just kind of got for him real quick, these herbs that he's just sort of swallowing down. And he just leans back against this makeshift pillow, and you hear he smokes it real quick. You just hear him
Makes everything
sigh.
better.
Oh, thank you, child. I haven't been here extremely long. I think a few weeks, certainly not as long as my compatriot in the corner. But long enough to have heard a few things. The captain, he keeps talking about a maelstrom, a maw, a whirlpool that he says there's some sort of a treasure or a portal or something. He doesn't talk much about it around the cells, but if I were a betting man, I would say he's taking us there now.
Interesting.
What
Mm.
do you know anything of this maelstrom that he speaks of? Do you have any history with it?
I overheard some sailors talking in the port when I was there, waiting for a ship to come by before the captain so rudely accosted me. They spoke of a unnatural weather pattern deep in the heart of the Abyssian Maw. They said that it was the end of the world. Not literally, if the thing is round, but as in all who go die. None have escaped its grasp, and it's been there, from my understanding, for the past 10 years. It appeared almost suddenly with the crack in the sky. They seem connected in some way, but how, I do not know. Just the musings of an old rock, I guess.
When's the last time you saw the sky, sir? Or land, even?
Oh, that would have been weeks ago. And that's just based on what I'm gathering. I've not left this place for some time. I can barely track the movement of the sun through these small portholes. It's been some time, but when I last saw the sky, the crack could be seen even in the day. It was quite concerning. You just kind of hear him taking these big, labored breaths.
Damn. Well,
Cool.
Any other questions for our old rock?
So, the end of the world, but not really. And we're most likely gonna die.
sounds about right.
The
Again.
captain seems
Topical.
convinced that between this ship and certain crew members that he was going to bring aboard, that he would have bless you, the power he would need to safely navigate the moor. And you watch his eyes widen. We were at port for some time until you five were brought here.
That fucker was waiting for us.
Oh, he needs us.
He needs
He
us.
needs us. Okay. All right. Okay.
That was my guess as well.
It's nice to be needed.
It would have been nicer to be asked.
I turned out of breath. Maybe you shouldn't have saved me.
I'm so sorry.
Around this time, you hear these knocks on the door. Just kind of like a knock, 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 you know. Actually pretty gentle for considering that you're in a jail.
Nim's gonna hide next to the door.
Okay.
Right next to the door frame. So people
Roll
can't-
stealth.
Okay.
Roll stealth for me.
Do you want to use spider?
Ew, no, not yet.
Aspen. We haven't used that one yet.
Okay, so Nim, as you hear these knocks, something just turns on in you and you just slink into the shadows. Not quite fast enough that your party doesn't know where you are,
Yeah.
but if they blink for a few seconds, you get lost in the shadows. And you are literally to the right side. There's a big enough shadow and kind of a corner there that to the right of the door, it's almost impossible to see you. Certainly nobody walking in would notice.
Cool.
Again, you hear knock, 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 knock on the door.
Kirin's gonna go and see if
Yeah,
he can
we're
just
locked in
open the
here.
door.
Okay.
Kirin's gonna try and open
I'm
the
gonna pull
door.
out my scythe.
Okay. That's a big weapon to pull out, but you're welcome to do so. Schwink.
Is it
as
like
you
a really
stick
small
into the
room? I don't
fabric.
remember.
I mean,
You have
not
a
huge
dagger, too.
room.
It's big.
Okay, I'll pull out my hand axe or whatever.
Okay. You can pull out.
Yassin just goes, come in.
Intrude.
trying to get back, like, I'm on my ship.
Yeah.
Like this is my.
This very commanding voice you hear Yassin saying, enter. Kirin, right at the door, you could hear on the other side this, what sounds to you like a lizard folk. The intonation of the voice, the hissing that they do. In your mind, you picture this is probably a very large lizard person, one of the lizard folk, they call them. And you hear him and he goes, "The captain wishes to speak with two of you."
Two at random or two
From
specific?
the position and the thickness of the door, Kirin is the only one who can clearly hear this, along with Nim.
I turn and
What do you say?
I'll relay the message accurately.
Okay, and so now you all
He wants
know
to
that
see
the
two of
captain-
us.
I'm
the
gonna.
captain's looking for two.
I'm volunteering.
Okay, Grim. Anybody else going to go with Grim?
I guess I am.
Get your shit back.
Yeah, I gotta get my shit back.
The captain of the old ship.
I like this team. I like this team.
What's
Okay.
His name is Greg, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Greg.
Yeah, Greg and Aberrath's responses to me relaying that message.
Ooh.
Aberath has his eyes closed, and you see that he's concentrating deeply on breathing, and that is his main focus right now. He's got no other response. Greg, on the other hand, is shooting daggers at Yassin with his eyes. Like he is just glaring at him, and he's leaning up against his chains again. And he's just got this look on his face as he's like blood and spittle drip out his mouth. He's just going, "Better not. Better screw this up, Yassin."
Can I
I'll,
insight
like-
check on the lizard?
Fuck him off. Yeah.
We haven't seen him yet.
You haven't seen him. The
I
only one
haven't
who-
seen him.
no,
Oh,
is
he's still behind the door.
I'm hearing him through the door.
Door. Okay.
he has to. The lizard's got to open the door.
Oh yeah. Why was he knocking?
To get our attention?
I guess. Yeah. I thought he was
Kirin.
like.
Kirin will knock back to kind of initiate that we have chosen our two, and then he'll go and tend to Aberrath.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm staying where I'm at.
You hear these three heavy latches, and then just kind of,
Damn.
and you hear these like tree-sized, limbs being moved. And then
It's the lizard.
the door slowly opens. On the other side of it, as you all blink and kind of get used to the light pouring through, because it's pretty dark in this hold, you see this 7-foot tall, imposing shadow. It's a big lizard, big, broad chest.
That's hot.
You see that attached to his tail, that he just sort of swings up at his head height, just kind of goes back and forth, is that he has axes attached, like wrapped around it in leather, so that the points face outwards.
Respect.
In his hand, he carries what looks like a musket with a big kind of barrel on the end of it, and he's just holding it lightly.
Chris, can I change my character, or is it too late in the game? I want to be a fucking lizard person.
This is a glory, and he just pushes the door open and stands there at the threshold, and he goes, "Two volunteers follow."
Oh.
Look, are you supposed to go before we get on the adventure? That's that's how it works.
I was going to try to make eye contact with Grim and be like, should I do something? But, like,
So
you hear me?
I think Yassin's just like to Graham, and we follow the lizard.
What happened? Sorry.
Can I?
Oh, I was just like, we make eyes and then like the head towards the door.
Nim, you can have a moment.
Can I make eye contact with like Grim and be like, you want me to do something or?
Not yet.
Okay.
While they're having that moment,
Yep.
can I just do a perception check to see if I can analyze any of the outside of the cell to see
Give me a
any?
Roll perception. Yeah, let's see what you can
I'm
see.
going to try to tell you to like, if you can, put something in the locks or try to stop the door when we
Too soon.
Like,
19.
19, nice. The counter was a 15, so well done. So your eyes seem to adjust the fastest. And as such, when the lizard guy, this big imposing pirate lizard, when he steps out of the way, you can clearly see the deck of the ship through this doorway. And you see probably about half a dozen other pirates out there going about their duties. Some are swabbing the deck. Others are kind of manning the sails, moving ropes around, tying things off. But what catches your eye the most is that there's a center mast, right, where the biggest sails are. And embedded into the bottom, probably about a good maybe 20-foot square, is this sigil that glows green. And to your eyesight, the sigil looks almost like a wave that's kind of swirling around this central mast. And all of the pirates do their best to steer clear of it. None of them walk into the space that the sigil occupies. And so your eyes gravitate towards that really quick.
Ooh.
Grim and Yassin, the two of you step outside, and as such, the lizard reaches in to close the door, and as he does, he goes, "Your times will come. Just be patient for a little longer." He gets ready to
Yeah.
close the door.
Right as he's like just about to close it, because I'm hoping that he doesn't see anything, I'm going to just shove like the metal end of my staff like right into the door.
Roll sleight of hand.
Okay.
So you're gonna do your foot. I was like, you're gonna break your damn foot.
No foot. Okay.
Very glad she didn't
So
think
bad
that
today.
was gonna work.
Okay, not bad. So you get your staff into the door. This lizard is, one, his height, and two, just kind of his demeanor. He doesn't really seem like his heart is into the whole like prison guard thing. Like he was asked to do something that he doesn't really like, whatever. Okay, this isn't my job. But as he closes the door, he feels it like thunk. And that's good enough for him. It's your staff that he's thunking against, but your staff is thin enough that he can't see light going into it. And so he just casually, boom, 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 and kind of locks the door in, but it's cracked. Your staff, there's a good wedge now in it. So you have your staff in the door, and he doesn't notice.
It's a good thing it's not my foot in the door.
No, that would have hurt. I would have rolled damage for
Glad
that.
you chose staff instead of
Grim and Yassin, as you are now outside and your eyes are fully adjusted, the sun is probably at about 3 o'clock. You know, it's just passed over the top and is starting to move towards its setting position. So you've been inside for a little while. A few hours have passed since your midday rush to the docks.
Brig.
You see the sigil that Dawson saw earlier. Both of you can clearly see it. You cannot miss it. In fact, we'll shift positions here in just a hot second. You can move the pirates if you need to, sweetheart.
Ooh.
Are we gonna make that
Cool.
the main screen?
Hmm?
I don't know. We once did that where we could choose which one was the main screen.
So I have it pinned. I have that one pinned. If you go to gallery view, it'll always be in the top left. If you go to speaker view, it'll be the main screen.
Lizard man. It looks tiny compared to you guys, but that was
Okay. I
Okay.
pushed in and it pulled it up.
Yes.
Oh, view.
So
Oh
all of
look, it's me.
all of you can see this sigil pulsating and swirling at the center of the mast. And you notice that as the sigil pulses, you almost feel this gust of air. And you can see that right above this main sail is it's at full wind all the time. It never gives, it never stops like being taut against the edge. And Yassin, you can tell that your ship is moving faster than it ever has. and it's a pretty fast ship under your command, but Captain Persian has done something through magic and some arcane arts where he has a full sail billowing all the time, and you can feel yourself moving at a good clip. The lizard urges the two of you to follow, and as you do, you see the other pirates, whereas Kirin could only see half a dozen. You see a full crew complement of about 10 pirates, each doing various jobs, hoisting the mainsail, this, that, yada, yada, pulling stencils, whatever it is that pirate ships do. Yassin, you recognize everything that's going on. For you, you get this sense of pride, even though it's not under your command. You know these people are sailors. They know what they're doing. This is in their blood. They're working like a well-oiled machine. And you just, for a second, look out at the water and you see the rush of the spray of foam going past the ship. And you're like, damn straight, this is my boat. And she is gorgeous.
She is glorious.
At the top, as you walk closer, you see that the deck leads into a double staircase that turns and curves upward up to where the bridge is, where you see the main wheel that controls the ship. And at the helm is Captain Persian Cassire, his black and gold lined coat billowing in the wind, his blue hair flowing in the sunlight. He's got one hand on the wheel casually, the other rests upon his golden sword, and he's just, you got to admit, he looks pretty damn glorious up there. The sun hits his skin just right, shines and shimmers. He's a pretty boy up there. I'm not gonna lie, he's a pretty boy. He notices.
I'm mad at him, so we're not winning right now. And he looks like trash.
But you're still stunned by his beautiful.
As he sees the two of you, he turns to one of his crew and kind of motions, and they take over, steering the ship, keeping it on course. And he comes down the staircase. The sunlight just barely glints off of his nipple ring. I'm sorry.
I fucking hate it here.
As he comes down the stairs, he greets the two of you actually quite grandly. He does this big bow, kind of pulls his coat. You watch his tail sort of like whip in the air, like almost like a hand would be before it bounds. As he stands, he goes, welcome aboard my ship.
Not yet. Not
Welcome
yet.
aboard the
Fish boy.
Dawn Weaver. And you can tell, Yassin, that he has changed the name of your ship. He calls it the Dawn Weaver. Whatever you called your ship, I will let you figure out. That's the name. You can tell me what your name is, but he calls it the Dawn Weaver. He goes, I'm so glad that the two of you could join me. If you'll come with me into my personal quarters, I can let you know what's going on. I promise you're welcome guests here.
Insight check.
Go ahead and roll. Roll me some
Hit it,
insight.
Melissa.
I was being nice earlier, and I started being nice to everybody, and now I'm done, and I'm back to being skeptical of everything and insight checking like every fucking person.
Do it.
18.
No plus to that.
To insight?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, she's just rolling hard. With an 18, here's what you can tell. He's telling the truth when he says guests, that he doesn't see you as prisoners, but you know he's hiding something. And you're not sure what it is, you just know that he is trying to deceive you. And so and
Sacrifice.
your radar of not trusting is spot on. He's definitely sus right now. But you get the sense that he is trying to welcome you as guests. There's nothing, let's put it this way, you don't sense that he's trying to kill you or anything like that. The deception is different. You don't feel a threat to your life.
Okay, well,
We've been in worse
I'm
situations.
still gonna make a snotty comment and be like, last time I let you lead me anywhere, it was to a jail cell.
Fair point. Fair point. I absolutely deserve your ire right now. I'm just come with me, and I promise this will all make sense. I asked for two of you, so it didn't feel like I was trying to pit you against each other. I'm not trying to do anything weird. I was hoping you would come, Grim. And Yassin, to be honest, I know this used to be your ship. I'm sorry, mate, it's mine now. All's fair, finders keepers, but the two of you would come. So please, follow me. And he goes into his personal cabin, which of course, Yassin, you recognize it was your cabin. This is your ship, like, you know. And so he goes
Shame
in.
we're going to have to
he
kill
introduces
such a lovely looking man.
Kill him and take his nipple right now.
Do that before we kill him.
the giant lizard behind the two of you just kind of just gives you this grunt like, are you gonna go? Are you gonna follow?
Are you gonna go?
We're going.
Yeah, we're going.
Thank you.
Whack the lizard man.
Oh, so unmovable.
it's so scary.
It's fine. It's fine.
The wind blew.
Okay, we're not going anywhere now.
The ship is done.
We're done.
A giant hand smashes.
The two of you follow
The hand of God.
Oh no.
As you do so, the door closes behind you. You don't hear it latch or lock or anything like that, but the large lizard has taken up a post as a guard there. And you can see that through the cabin door, there is windows, there are frosted windows that are there. And you can see this big hulking shadow just standing there, guarding his captain, as it were. As you step inside, you see the space. And Yassin, even by your standards of how you used to keep your personal cabin, there's a grandeur to this. He has, hang on, I'm trying to get there we go. He has this grand piano in a corner that you've never seen before, made of oak and gloriously carved. At the piano stands a servant of his, a golden-haired elf. You see these kind of long gold strands go down. The elf himself is plainly dressed, a sort of aqua tunic and brownish pants. His head is cast downward.
Excuse me.
Bless you. His head is cast downward, and he's making sure not to make eye contact with anyone. As you scan around the room, you can see chests and barrels and a globe that looks like it probably would house liquor or something like that. One of those like globes that open up for liquors and things like that.
Like that one in the corner.
They're very, yeah, no, like that one there. There are shelves all throughout filled with knickknacks and treasures, some of which, Yassin, you remember that you collected on your adventures when you were captain. Others that are
Oh, they took me for all that I was worth.
and others that are new to you that either came from Greg's time as captain or perhaps Persian's, because he could have held on to the ship for a number of years before you caught up with him. The captain
Yes, we were
turns.
gone for like 2, weren't we?
2 years, yep, 2 years. The captain turns dramatically and goes, all right, let's get down to business.
To defeat them.
Let's cut back to the jail cell.
I want to make an Arcana check.
An Arcana check?
Yeah.
All right, give me all numbers.
Oh, we're in. Okay. For a second, I was like, wait, how?
Just for continuity's sake, I was relaying what I saw to them so that they know.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
The hand of God has no.
Maybe if you pay attention, you heard him say cut back.
Yes,
to
I
the
did.
jail.
It took me a second. I did hear
Mhm.
that.
Yep.
Old
Okay.
man.
Okay. All right. Damn. 19.
19. Of course, your arcana is so high. Here's what you're sensing. There is a basic spell that is being cast from this central sigil that's really easy to tell. Anybody with just a monochrome of magic ability would sense that this is a wind generating spell that's kind of keeping the sail pushed hard against its rigging so that he's getting maximum power to his ship. But there's something underneath that spell. And with a 19, this is what really interests you the most. There's something that feels different, like another realm, like magic from a place that you're unfamiliar with. You can sense it. You can tell that it's powerful, and you can tell it's not from Faerune. It is not a magic that you have encountered that would be in one of the schools of magic taught all across the lands. This is an odd, strange, foreign magic that feels off to you. And that's where what you're drawing the most. This magic did not come from here.
Interesting.
Not even from
Thonis?
Thonis. I almost called him Thanos again. I don't know.
Just
All
that's
good.
Did you get it when I looked at the skull?
Yeah.
I was like,
I was like,
that guy?
that guy. It's similar. So I'll give Astrella this again at a 19. It's similar to how you feel Thonis. Thonis feels
Okay.
off. He feels different, but it's not the same feeling.
Okay.
So it's not like it's Thonis's magic or even magic from his realm.
But it's kind of similar.
Yeah, it's similar in the sense of, oh, that's what foreign magic feels like. Ew, gives a bad taste in your mouth kind of thing.
Ew.
He's funny.
Mm.
That magic tastes funny. So what are the three of you doing in this jail cell? What do you want to do?
Got the door open.
all right. Okay. All right. Estrella sees them doing all of this over there. Oh, there's a cat.
Hey.
Just
Sprinkler,
literally just putting his nose right up in that camera. Thanks, buddy.
Oh, baby
Man.
boy.
Oh, I see.
He's scared of the fireworks, so he doesn't like being downstairs.
Aw.
So,
Oh.
Poor baby.
Aw.
so he's being
Being on me.
Okay.
Estrella, what do you say?
A giant cat walks with no.
Yeah.
There's a cat on this ship. I'm allergic.
no, do not walk in.
I'm gonna run over to Nim where she's got her thing in the door.
Yep.
So the locks are like locked, right? They're like completely locked, but there's like a little bit of wiggle room. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, so what you can see when you get up there, Estrella, is that there's probably about like a 2-inch gap that this staff has made. And while the doors are barred, you can see each bar that
Okay.
has been slid into place.
I would take Orion off my belt.
Yep.
And can I is Orion long enough that I can kind of like jam it in there and kind of like and try to get the lock open?
Yes.
What's
Yes.
Orion again?
My
Okay.
knife,
Oh.
my dagger has a name.
Well, so does mine. I just never call it it. I
Yeah,
just,
call it Thorn, baby. Call it Thorn.
I know, I forget. I'm just like my axe.
And my axe.
He knows
Oh.
he's not. He knows he wants to be with you.
Yeah. So you do stick Orion into the wood, and you're able to kind of get it in there a little bit. But as you try to wedge it, there's not enough leverage. Your blade is too short, and you can't. It wiggles. Like you can feel the wood have a little bit of wiggle to it.
Would my dagger would probably be about the same.
Damn, Nim, do you have anything longer?
My staff, but it's in the door.
Okay, yes, well.
So do you
What's
have
that?
staff in
Do
the
you have
door?
any monk shit that can help us? Because I have a knife and weed apparently, and that's all I've got in my bag right now.
Could I get a hand through there? Or is it too thin?
You'd only be able to get fingers through there. It would stop at your palm.
Okay.
It's literally like a 2-inch gap.
Okay.
I was gonna try to like
Crowbar it.
but I can't get my palm through there. so-
Get the cat in there and then just
There we go.
Let it do its own thing.
Are you relaying this information, Estrella, to the rest of your party?
yes, I'm talking out loud. I'm sorry, I'm talking out loud. My knife is too short. Does anyone have anything longer?
I pull out my longsword.
Would a pair
Here we go.
Bro, you've had this the whole time.
Sorry, I was
I'm
distracted.
dagger, and I'm like,
I'm-
I was just like watching
taking
it
care of
happen.
This guy literally gave his life for me. I'm taking care of him.
It's okay. It's okay.
oh, that's
Don't-
right. You have a
Like,
you have an
the
emotional
whole
line
time
going
he
on while
was
the
got
rest
an
of us are
arm.
fucking around.
It's okay.
Don't look at me.
Take your minute to collect.
I'll pull out my longsword and pass it over.
Okay.
And I'll look over at Greg and ask if he knows anything about the sigil that's powering the ship since he was the former owner.
I was about to take out a pan flute, guys. Like,
A pan flute, right?
yes, she has a pan flute.
Just sort of low into unlocking
No, I was
itself.
gonna try to poke it.
So I'll give my longsword to
Estrella.
Thank you.
Estrella.
Okay, cool.
Got a long pointy thing. now.
Estrella, what are you gonna do with the sword? And then I'll go back to Greg.
I'm gonna try to wedge it in there and get some leverage, and then kind of like the lock.
Okay, give me a,
Oh, yeah,
a
you're trying to move
sleight
it.
of hand roll. Roll sleight
Oh,
of hand.
I don't think I'm good at that one.
Don't break my sword.
Okay,
It's super rare.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now, my sleight of hand is a -4. If anything happens to the sword, I'm
God.
so sorry. But I did save
Why?
your life.
Why
I
didn't you?
saved your life. I need you to remember that.
I
If I
should-
break your sword, we're
Oh.
even.
Can I,
Yeah.
can I take it?
You can talk to her.
Might
Gotta
look,
know.
maybe it'd be a little bit. I
Wait.
have
Don't,
some
don't you have an inspiration?
I do. Okay, so can I use my point of inspiration for this? Because I just rolled a 1.
So here's how we're gonna don't
Oh
don't-
God.
The
I'm
sword's not
sorry.
gonna break. I didn't do a strength check. That I would break the sword on a strength check, not on a sleight of hand. It'll be all right.
Oh,
Um,
poking it.
So here-
Just poking it.
here's what happens as Nim
you missed
is
the whole
trying-
door.
I just stabbed in the door.
You stabbed Abarath.
What are you doing? I'm trying to save this man.
Here's what happens. Nim is trying to just kind of reach out to Estrella, let her know, hey, she's got the thievery background, let me do it. But Estrella's just focused. She's not listening, and she stabs the sword into the wood. She gets a good, grip into it. As she moves to kind of try and move the wooden beam, the sword being very strong and also just a little bit flexible. Wherever it was that Kirin had this forged, it is a good blade. So it bends a little bit and then and just kind of just hits Estrella in the face.
Oh,
Oh.
Oh my God.
sorry. I
The
tried to.
rebound on this thing is crazy.
That is the most me thing my character's ever done. I love that for me and her.
And
Okay. All right. That was embarrassing. I'm going to stop now.
It's kind of like a
I'm going to
red-
give him the sword back.
I'm going to go sit down now.
You've got a red spot on your forehead, no damage or anything like that, but it's your ego is a little bit bruised. Nim,
Poor baby, just sit down. It's okay.
I'm going to sit down and cure wounds on my forehead.
And Nim gives you like a
Nim gives me a little forehead kiss. It's fine.
How many cure wounds casts do you have? Just to make sure.
We're
Okay.
not talking about that.
All right.
Don't be that.
We're not in combat. It's fine.
It's definitely once every long rest.
Nim, did you want to try anything before I go to Greg?
No, I will try it, but like you can go to Greg. I'm babying Estrella while she's sitting down on the floor before I try again.
So you go ahead and give me a sleight of hand roll for you.
Yes.
Kirin,
+5.
as you're kind of watching this, and you see the sword bounce back, you can't help but grin just a little bit because you're like, good sword. Thank the stone. And then, You hear Greg kind of go, that was installed after my time. Captain Persian's personal invention. It's meant to keep the sail unfurled and blowing hard, but I don't know. I don't recognize the magic from anywhere. It seems strange, unworldly, if you will. Persian won't say where he got it from either. He ain't no mage, can't do no magic. Neither can anyone else on the crew. Weird, if you ask me.
Mayhaps he stole it from somewhere. I'm gonna give him some of my water. I have water on me, my backpack.
Greg takes that from you. He doesn't even like thank you, or he just like snatches it when you offer it, and you just hear.
You might want to watch that.
Jesus.
He kind of down about half of it.
You don't ask for it back.
Yeah, you keep that.
That's your cup.
He just kind of gives you this pouty look, like he's too proud to say thank you, but then kind of starts to drink it more slowly. And then you hear him and he goes, that's what pirates do, boy. We steal things. I have no doubt he stole it. But where on the planet he stole it from makes no sense to me. I've seen things, weird things, magical things, powerful things all over Faerune. That did not come from Faerune.
When did you first encounter Captain Persian?
He takes another like small sip of the water. A couple of years ago, actually. He came into this bar out in the Pirates' Cove, about 30 miles east of Fandolin. It's where we like to hang out, pull up our hats, get a drink and a good wench. But he walked in all swagger, saying that he knew places to get treasures and artifacts and talismans that were far beyond anything that we had here in our neck of the woods. He was intriguing. Boy could talk a good game. So I let him aboard my ship. In less than a week, he had the crew turned against me and locked up in here. Bastard. Damn pretty boy. Never should have trusted him.
He is rather pretty, actually.
Yeah, I suppose if you're into that sort of thing, little mutant half-breed tiefling orc thing. Ugh. Yeah, he kind of pretty.
Because he has the dust, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he got that from a half orc, probably his mama.
You don't know. Could have been the tiefling. You don't know what she was into.
Just takes another drink and then kind of and he coughs so hard this time that again more blood kind of splatters on the ground. He looks up at you, Kirin, and he goes, boy, you did me a kindness when you didn't have to. So I'm gonna do you one too. The minute you get the opportunity, destroy that sigil. At the very least, that should solve half the problem. Something about that is just wrong. Doesn't need to be here. You get rid of that. And then you come tell old Greg when you've taken back the ship. And he just sort of leans back and kind of halfway passes out between the coughing and the blood and kind of drinking probably too much water too fast. You just kind of watch him slump and start snoring a little bit. But again, this is sort of like a sickly sleep. He's not doing well. Probably about as far along as Aberath is in his life expectancy.
I'll toss some of the rags over him that are like around him. So he's like, it's like, all right, I'm gonna walk over to see what our friends are doing, make sure my sword's not breaking again anymore.
All right, what was your roll on sleight of hand, Nim?
Was it 19 plus 5?
24.
I hate you.
So you you have this technique that you've probably done this before. where you're able to sort of shimmy the sword at an angle and just kind of lightly tap. And you're putting pressure both on the hilt, but also on the blade to prevent this kind of bounce back. And as you push the two from each other very gently, very slowly, the board is moving. And you kind of just keep it going slow and steady. And as you do, you feel the sword give because it's left its hold that it has. You pull out the sword, just wiggle, stick in the second one. Go ahead and give me another sleight of hand roll.
Oh,
Let's
man,
see.
every freaking one.
Let's see how long this takes.
Sorry.
Okay. That's a 14 plus 5.
So 19. So it'll probably take you about another 2, maybe 3 minutes max for you to kind of using this very slow technique. And anybody who's watching is going to start to see sweat pouring down your face. This is more concentration than strength. And you're just really finessing each of these boards just out of their cradle. So it's no longer preventing the door from being pushed open all the way.
Okay, we'll see if I succeed on the third one, then I'll tell you.
So there's a give or take 3 minutes. Astrella, Kirin, anything that you want to do in that time?
Stella wants to find a rock and crawl under. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna let him handle this one.
It's
gonna wait.
still rubbing your spot.
Yeah, I'll just check on Aberrath and see how he's doing.
Aberrath is breathing a little steadier than he was before. The herbs seem to be kind of helping ease some of the pain that was causing his labored breathing. And he's sort of in and out of consciousness right now.
Okay.
Let's cut over to Captain Persian Cassire, Grim, and Yassin in his personal room. So in the captain's cabin, you can you hear the creaking of the ship. You hear, of course, the sounds of the water, and you hear Captain Cassire look over at his servant, and he goes, "You elf, play something pretty for us to hear in the background, if you don't mind. I'd appreciate it. Thank you." And you see the elf sort of bow slightly, takes a seat at the piano, and just sort of deftly, his hands run over the keys, and he starts to play a melody as all of you kind of gather around a table that he has in the center there. You all take seats, and he looks at the two of you and goes, would you like anything to drink? Perhaps a brandy, rum?
I'm good.
Okay.
It's
well,
probably my rum. So yeah, I'll take a rum.
In point of fact, Yassin, and he goes into the globe, opens it up, pulls out and closes it, and he has a rum in his hand. This I acquired on a journey elsewhere, if you will. Ooh. And you hear him, he pours 2 drinks and passes them to both Grim and Yassin, pours himself a drink and leaves it in the middle.
First time Grim doesn't actually take the drink. I know, right?
And you can hear this rousing music kind of being played in the background. And oh yeah, did you recognize that, do you?
That's what he was playing.
And you hear Captain Cass, you see Captain Cassire smile, and he goes, in fact, I acquired this rum in the same place I found him. Not in this world.
I was going to ask.
See,
Hold on.
Yeah.
2 years ago, when you, Yassin, gave me the task of going out and trying to rescue your ship for a price, I decided to take advantage of the moment and do more than just bring it back here. I mean, You never showed up at the port. I was here for a month. Instead, I sailed off into the maw. And there, I found another world. Where he came from, with this rum. Taste it. Trust me. He takes this big swig of the bottle. It's not poison. And he pours more from the bottle into his gullet. And you see it kind of roll down his chin and his chest. And he slams it down. And he goes, it has a spice I've never tasted anywhere in my life. This world is filled with riches, but it took everything I had to get back here. Now, last time we met, I knew that your party was filled with powerful magi, those who are good in the arcane arts, witches and wizards and that sort, yeah? Grim, you reek of the stuff, in a good way, mind you, it's a good smell, I like it, very nice. I need your help to get back. I'm willing to split everything we find with you. I'm even willing to let go of the boat when we get back here. I won't need it. I'm gonna have so much riches, I won't know what to do with it. I apologize for the subterfuge. I figured none of you would believe me. But if you look out that window right there, and he points over to where the piano is, and this elf who is just kind of lost in the melody, you can see out the window a dark cloud and a funnel of energy off in the distance, probably a day's journey away. And you can see the ship turning towards it. So, what say you? Do I have your loyalty? Or do I need to put you back into the brig?
I'm gonna say that for now, you do.
Brilliant. And you, Captain Yassin.
Oh, he said the right word.
Kiss ass.
Yeah, I guess we're going along with it.
Excellent.
It's called.
Oh, is Grim lying?
I didn't
Roll
say that out
deception for me.
loud. I was talking to him.
I know, but roll deception for me.
Oh,
Ooh.
son of a- I shouldn't have
The
said
fact
anything.
that you are lying.
You are lying. Yasin, are you lying when you say that you're going to go along with this? Is it a lie, a deception, or are you being honest?
I think for Yassin, he's actually being honest because I feel like he's being a little bit selfish now because he desperately just wants his ship back.
Fair enough.
I get that.
Fair enough. Grim, what's your deception roll?
13.
Not bad. All you had to beat was a 10. I made it pretty low. That was close. Captain Persian, he looks at you and steadies you. And you just kind of give him a coy smile, a little bit of a wink. And he's like, and that sets him at ease and he's good to go. Well then, I think we should get your friends out of the hold and see.
Combusted out of nowhere, like, what?
They've already
That
got-
would be hilarious. Why he's
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to open the door, you bust out.
and see if we can figure out the best way to go about little adventure. And so he kind of stands up, opens the door. He kind of looks at the large lizard guard and he kind of nods and he goes, "We're good. Everything here is copacetic. Go back to duties. No worries." And he just sort of, kind of peace out. And he goes off on his way. You, as you all walk out onto the deck of the Dawn Weaver, at this moment, everybody can hear this large clunk.
I could just see them pop out the door.
as the final latch on the door is released, and the door just slowly kind of
It's the haunted one.
and just opens, and Captain Persian is about to the mid deck when this happens, and he just stares right at you, Nim.
And he was like, I did it.
And Persian just starts laughing. He's just like, I knew it was worth waiting on you. It's all right. Come out. Come out. Your leaders have reached accord with me.
Leaders? I didn't know we picked leaders yet.
Oh, I just assumed that, since they volunteered, that they speak for the rest of you.
Well, you know what?
Oh, right.
Yes, assuming makes asses for you and me.
Not quite.
You and Ming.
Makes an ass of you. And then me, because you did it. Never mind.
Yeah, I think I like my version better, just saying. Well, why don't you all come out? You see the rest of you in there? Come on. Don't worry about the one chained in the back. We don't need him.
Aim.
So sturdy.
Yassin.
Kirin's gonna get his blade back, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's gonna get his blade back, and then he's gonna take his cloak and put it on Abarath while he sleeps, and kind of like sleep well, old man, and then exit.
So as all of you come out, you kind of gather around this sigil, if you will. The rest of the pirates they all turn, they look at you briefly, but they see that their captain is with you, and they all go about their duties. They're not worried. At this point, all of you can clearly see that the bow of the ship has just slowly been turning towards this maelstrom in the distance, this whirlpool of energy and water and storm clouds. And again, about a day's journey away, but you are beelining straight towards it.
What do we do now?
I thought we were supposed to go away from storms. Those are usually bad for ships. Yeah, mate. She kind of tries to get the guy up here with the wheel in attention.
Turn it around.
Away. That's bad, right?
At the wheel is this tabaxi who's just he's got like some rings going all up one ear. He's got a little bandana across his head. And he just looks out the other side of the window and just goes, and just, of course. And Persian just chuckles.
Very rude people here.
Oh, you'll have to excuse my crew. They're not the most talkative sort, but they get the job done. My dear, we need to go straight into the heart of that and survive its winds to get to a land filled with riches, just ripe for the taking.
What is this place called?
Well, I was only there for a couple of days, but I did see this symbol drawn on almost everything around. And he kind of opens up this, he reaches into his pocket and pulls out this piece of parchment that is written in Elvish. You can tell that it is Elvish, but it's not an Elvish that any of you elves have ever seen before. You can't immediately read it or translate it, but you recognize that it feels Elvish, the curve and the spiral of the words. But at the top, he points to this symbol, and you see on there 3 triangles that are placed together, 1 on top, 2 on bottom, forming this tri shape.
Making a bigger triangle?
Exactly, making a bigger triangle. It seems to be the symbol of whatever kingdom it was that we had snuck into. Can't read this, can't tell much about it. I don't suppose any of you elves can read it.
What about me?
If you use your ability, yes, you can read it.
Okay, then I would like to use my ability.
What's it called? Come on, find it. Call it.
Eyes of the Runekeeper.
Yeah. And so do you just take the page from him?
Or where am I and where is he?
You're right next to him.
So I just look over. I don't want him to know that I know.
So you're not reading this out loud then. You just want to know what it is. Cool.
Well, I want to know what it is before I read it out loud.
It's a correspondence. It's a letter. You can immediately see that on top, it's a royal decree, because on the top it says, to the subjects of Hyrule. And then below would be the rest of the message. So you quickly read that. Do you wish to continue on with the message?
Yeah.
Okay. You can read the first paragraph, give or take, before he kind of rolls it back up and stuffs it into his pocket, unless you ask for it. But
I'm gonna ask for it.
Oh, you're just
Go.
right, of course. Here you go. All right, don't worry, we're all together here. You take it from him, and this is what you read. Resident
What's that say?
Resident Badass. So here's
His favorite sign. I like it.
Will you be reading this out loud or keeping it to yourself, Jim?
Oh.
See, it's hard. I want to keep like something to myself. But
No secrets anymore. We had our sharing circle. You have to tell us.
yeah,
things.
with you guys, not him.
Oh, he hasn't told us his secrets. We have to have a new circle.
Oh God. All right. Just read it out
Right
loud.
around the
All right.
the glowy circle.
So
Right
out
around
loud, you read, to the subjects of Hyrule. And of course, I'll be reading this as the king who is speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Our land has come under a great turmoil. It is required that each household give up one member to join the royal guard. Our army needs to be bolstered, for a great evil, a calamity, has befallen the land.
Chill.
As such, we must defend ourselves. I know that these are troubling times, but rest assured that our mages and the Sheikah who we keep
Cool.
are desperately seeking an answer to what has
Mashika.
befallen us. Sheikah, yes. That's
The
a
Sheikah.
word without any
Oh.
understanding of what it is, per se. The Sheikah. In these troubling times, we must band together, because it is only in our strength of unity can we overcome this calamity. Your king is here. The princess is here, and we will not abandon you. Signed, King of Hyrule. And below it, you see another signature that you read out loud as Princess Zelda.
Princess.
Uh,
Link in here?
Captain Cassian looks at you, and there's this expression of like genuine admiration on his face as you can read something that nobody else could. And he grins and he goes, "I see. I knew it was right to bring you here. Already proven your worth, love. I'm impressed, truly. I don't know what befell this kingdom, but I can tell you that it's already in ruins. I wouldn't have dared steal anything from someone as powerful as that letter sounds. It's in shambles. Whatever calamity they were trying to prevent has already happened. Most of them are already dead. I guarantee you, it's easy pickings. Still, I feel for them." And he kind of raises his liquor bottle, which he took with him, and he goes, "To the king and princess of Hyrule." And he pours a little bit down onto the deck. "May you have all died in peace, and may your riches find their way to our treasured vaults." And he just takes another swig. Oh, he's getting there. Yeah, he's been swigging more than anybody else, so he's feeling pretty good. Well, we're about a day out from reaching our intended target. The ship is yours. You may venture anywhere you wish, partake of food, drink, merriment. Perhaps even we'll throw a party on the deck later tonight. You may rest. I'm afraid the only rooms that I truly can offer you are where you were. There are beds within each of those cells, and if you need me to take old Greg and throw him overboard, I'd be happy to do that, really. I'd be happy to let Captain Yassin do that if he wishes. We don't need to keep him any longer.
Maybe
Yassin.
Yeah, can have a
Opportunity presented.
I'll be honest, I kept him for you, sir. I knew what it meant to be able to deal with him yourself. I kept true to my side of the bargain. He's there for you, mate. Whenever you wish to deal with it, however you wish to deal with it. But for now, I wish to retire until later tonight. We will make landfall, if you will, later in the morning. Rest up before then. Mages, I'll need you most of all. And he kind of bows dramatically. If anyone needs me, I will be in my cabin. Please do knock. And he looks at you, Grim, and gives a wink. And then goes back to his cabin, closes the door. And that large lizard who was kind of just swabbing the deck a little bit, kind of goes back and swabs it closer to the captain's door. As a bit of a guard, not fully trusting the five of you. You have run of the ship now until this evening, when the captain will return, and kind of have a small celebration before landfall at the mall. What do you all wish to do with your time?
Okay, I want to run around and see if I can find where this magic is coming from in the sigil.
Okay.
What's coming from?
Yeah, but like it's.
Oh,
Yes.
I want to know more things.
do your thing.
figured it out. Okay.
Do you want to share with the group?
You know who the piano player is? Like,
Who's the piano player, Jessica?
it's freaking Link. It's freaking
I
Link.
was gonna say,
Oh.
is Lincoln here?
He's in the tunic.
He was out of frame
How
in,
old is this
in
guy?
the shot. We couldn't see it.
He's not even here. I don't know.
No, I didn't want to put him on the board because
Because I
it would
hate
Then you would know.
it'd be obvious.
Immediately.
So yes, table talk. Yep, that is Link, who has been captured from Hyrule and is serving as the captain's.
Pianist.
Like in
Chamber
big
boy.
letters when you guys were in there. I was like, it's freaking Link. It's freaking Link.
This is nutty. This is crazy.
Sorry, all my
um,
dogs decided to attach to me. That's why I was quiet.
I love her.
Never apologize for the dog.
I was like, shh,
This is
calm
an
down.
animal-friendly D&D game.
I mean, my cat smushed his face in the camera. I mean, come on.
I was just like, really? They're all like panting on me. I'm like,
Oh, anyway, Nim is going to just like get giddy, and she's just gonna start climbing like the nets and going up to the
Oh my goodness.
top masts, and she just wants to explore all of it.
Okay.
I guess
so
that's
we'll
good
talk
to
about
everybody,
the
like,
side.
fan out and like know
Search for
what's
clues,
going
guys.
on with this
I'm
shit.
totally looking for things. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I'm gonna just go up there.
Roll
Better eye view, you know.
roll acrobatics for me.
Oh yeah, no, cool.
So,
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
Astrella, what are we gonna do?
8.
I think we need to do a vibe check of this ship.
Ooh.
I think we need to Arcana check every section of the ship to make sure that's the only magic we're seeing on this ship.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
And there's nothing else nefarious.
Nim just peeked out. She doesn't
Nefarious.
care about your nefarious stuff. She's just like,
She's living her best life. We're gonna let her do that.
And with your roll, you
Good job.
expertly climb up the rigging and sort of just kind of make your way up to the top mast. And if anybody's watching, they can kind of see you like jump out and grab and sort of flip around and just sort of like perch onto where the crow's nest is. And you're up there, and there's a tabaxi.
I was gonna say, where's the tabaxi?
There's a tabaxi up in the crow's nest with you as kind of a lookout, and she just sort of turns, and you hear her just kind of like she jumps and goes, "Wow!" And because
I'm sorry.
she,
Sorry.
holy, wow, you just that was actually pretty good.
That was cool, right? That was pretty
I
cool.
thought she was gonna say holy balls there for a minute.
Huh?
I thought he was gonna say holy balls.
Holy balls.
I was like, holy balls.
She looks at you and she goes, my name's Tasha. Nim,
Hi.
pleasure.
Yeah.
You got up here really quick. I'm impressed.
I was excited. It was a little faster than normal, but it was a leisurely pace. Trying.
So I see the captain has fully trusted you then, let you get run with the ship. We're on board.
Yeah.
That's
All of
great.
them. Oh yeah. We're
Excellent.
going to have a walk the plank party later, apparently.
Oh,
It's gonna be great.
are we finally going to be dealing with that old dwarf that's in the cells down below?
Apparently, he has a problem with my friend, which has a problem with your captain, but not anymore because they're like cool now, I guess. I wasn't there for the conversation.
That's
But,
interesting. I was wondering what you was doing down there. Well, I look forward to it. He really is a stinky old git. I was hoping we just going to get to throw him overboard.
I mean, yeah, I don't even think anyone's gonna want to eat him after that. This is pretty nasty.
You want to see something interesting, love?
Yeah.
Hey, come here. And she hands you her spyglass that she's been using. And she goes, look out there towards that, the mall. That's what we've been calling it. That just sort of ebbs with magic and what. Just kind of look out there.
She sits there and plays with it for a second, like pulling it in.
No, love, you
Who's
got to
the
put the eye to one
tabaxi?
side, the small side. Get to put the small side, and then you look out through the big side.
Oh, whoa! She like puts it up.
It's called spyglass. It makes things further away closer.
Okay, what am I looking for?
Roll perception
Okay.
with advantage since you're using the spyglass.
Wow, they both rolled 15.
Awesome. What's your plus?
It's 0.
Plus, yeah, that's okay.
They're
15.
both 15.
That
They are.
with your 15, here's what you can see. There is, of course, the energy that pools around. It's a similar green energy to what you see below the center mast in this sigil that's sort of pulsing down there. You see the clouds moving, you see this sort of vortex in the center, this whirlpool that looks like it's sucking water down into it. But what you notice, what you think that Tasha is probably trying to get you to see are creatures swimming just on the outside of like the event horizon of the whirlpool. And every now and then you watch them reach up and dive back under the water. And they're moving fast because they've caught the current and they're moving with the whirlpool, almost in a protective pattern around it.
That doesn't look too good. Did you now know where the gods or whatever those things are?
I'm not quite sure what they are either, love, but yeah, no, I saw them. They're like creatures swimming out there with the current, and
They weren't there the last time you
no, they weren't.
went there?
That's the strange thing. They appeared just now on this voyage. I haven't had a chance to tell the captain yet, but I just want to make sure I wasn't seeing things. It's hard to see that far out, but it's strange, isn't it?
A little bit.
You think that they're guarding it too?
I mean, that was very, very safely protective type thing, they're going
Yeah.
But the middle of it looks a lot like that thing, and she like leans over the crow's nest almost like an uncomfortable amount, like
You watch us go, wait.
I got down there.
Oh, you are an agile thing, aren't you? Whew. I hadn't really thought about that. I mean, the captain did say if this magic came from another realm, I guess it makes sense that kind of a gateway and this would share similar properties. I don't know. I'm just a pirate.
Have you touched it?
But
Like
this-
that thing. And she leans back over.
That sigil.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. None of us have gone near it. The captain said not to touch it either. We don't even sure what would happen, but we've seen enough glowy things in our life to know don't touch a glowy
Well,
thing.
that's not good. You shouldn't have told me that. I don't want to touch
What?
it.
What's it?
Look, mate, I like you and all, and I think that you're adorable.
Maybe like an arcana.
Don't touch it, please. We're not sure what would happen.
Don't touch it.
I'll trust you. I trust you.
I appreciate
You're
that.
pretty nice and all, so I'll trust you. But
You
that's tempting.
are already dying.
I'm not gonna lie. There's been a couple of times that I've been super tempted, especially in the middle of the night. But
It's glowing.
don't touch it.
All right. All right.
But are you gonna still stay up here and kind of look out with her, or are you gonna go off someplace else, man?
I will stay up there a little bit, but I'm just pretty much gonna stay up there long enough to like ADHD person like look all the way around and they go, okay, bye, and then like jump out.
Cool.
Scare the crap out of her again.
Let's move on to Astrella and Grim, and then we'll move to Yassin and then Kirin. So if you two want to, no, we're good there. If you want to stay together or whatever.
Melissa,
What?
I want to touch it.
Touch
I want to put
that?
my hand on it.
Okay, let's do it.
Full.
Are you
Are
gonna pull me
Are we
off?
like connected so our powers are like, I don't know.
I feel like we can sense the same thing, right? We've rolled similar Arcana checks before.
Okay, so we both touch it, both hands.
I was gonna touch it with one hand. Do you want to two-hand it?
Sure.
You wanna?
Oh wow. Or maybe one of you should just one. and,
How about
like,
I'll do it? Listen. I'm a zombie already. My
No,
arms, my
I
shit's
also
falling
have
off.
a metal arm. We could just use that one.
Damn, you always metal arm it, and it's so cool. Yeah, touch it with your metal arm, Melissa. That's great.
Like Ed.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna stand very close to you, so that way if anything goes wrong, I'm gonna pull you off. Okay.
Yeah, you can hear it if something
Oh,
really
boy.
bad happens.
All right.
Your rubber sole boot.
We're gonna touch the thing. Okay, I'm gonna touch the button. Here we
Can I
go.
see Nim like can Nim like see
Oh,
this
yeah.
because I'll be like, I wanted to touch it.
Yep.
Yeah. I just kind of like go like this and then like reach my hand down in the line,
Into it.
into
you
a
just-
line, see if
Yep.
it goes through or if I can touch it
Okay.
and be like,
Um,
see how it
I
goes.
would make a wisdom saving throw for me.
I'm gonna lead over to
I already rolled it a while ago. Does it still
Oh.
count?
Your wisdom throw.
I mean, I rolled one just so it would be ready.
All right.
Oh,
What'd you
okay.
get?
And it's for wisdom.
Yep. Wisdom saving.
Okay, then it's just a
lead over to
19.
Estrella. The tabaxi lady up there told us not to touch it, and I wanted to touch it. Now she's touching it. What's
What was the
happening?
what was the roll?
19.
19. Okay, cool. So here's what happens. As you reach out with your metal arm and touch it, you feel this very light electric current travel up your arm. It's not painful. It's not terrible. It compels you to want to go all the way down till your hand stops. And you can feel the deck of the ship. You feel, the wood and everything. And you can tell that this sigil has been carved into it. And you sense that there is perhaps something below this deck where the source of the magic is taking place. You're just feeling small ebbs from it. But just like Astrella, when she did her Arcana check, this is leaving a funny taste in your mouth. This is not magic from this realm, and it's not Thaunis's magic. It's just different. And you know that it's from someplace else. But the source of it is below.
All right, Grim, are we going downstairs?
Yeah, I was gonna say, so I tell Estrella we need to go below deck and we're headed down there.
Let's go.
Okay. Yassin and Kirin, what would you two like to do?
Oh, bitch. I'll
Uh,
have your moment.
well, I have a question for Chris. So I have a spell, shape water.
Yep.
Ooh.
How would that relate to the water inside of a human body?
Please say it translates.
Use the freaking blood bend. Oh my god.
Bloodbend. So I'll tell you this.
That's
There is
amazing.
enough water in a body for you to manipulate it. How you manipulate it and how the person fights against it, we'll deal with that when we get there. But if you want to bloodbend, I will let you try.
Oh, geez.
It's close, but I'm going to say Yassin goes back down to the brig. And I'm going to say maybe I'm going to ask Kirin to come with me to get Abarath. So it's just me and Greg. With that.
Okay, you can, yeah. Kirin, what's your response?
I'm gonna insight check Yassin because Kirin's chaotic neutral senses are tingling, and
He's like,
he's
"I don't
been
know what
thinking
this guy
about
done."
he's been thinking about what Greg said and really feeling the gravity of every decision they make, considering the fact that he knows the ending of a possible outcome.
So I want the two of you to get into an insight battle. Each of you roll your d20.
Release.
I want Dawson to add insight to as your modifier, and Yassin, I want you to add deception to your modifier.
My insight's a 4, so good luck.
All right.
Too bad I can't help you with this.
Well, we
Oh God, what did you roll?
Nat 20, 24.
Oh, shit. All right.
Okay, come on.
Come on, Yassin.
2 + 3, so 5.
I think Dawson might have won.
So Yassin, the excitement of being aboard your ship, the possibility of getting revenge on your first mate has left you unable to fully control your emotions. And Kirin is able to kind of read you and knows that the only reason why you would want to be alone with Greg is because you wish to do something to him that the others in the party might find distasteful.
Questionable. Not Grim.
Except Grim.
Except Grim.
Grim's just like, fuck him up.
So yeah, Kirin, you definitely sense that there's a side of
Juju
Yassin
Magumbo.
that's taking over.
Mhm.
That is the same side that Yassin would have shown to each and every crew member that betrayed him. The warrior, the bloodthirsty warrior that's inside him, the one that revels in revenge. You see traces of this coming through.
Okay.
So the two of you go in.
Did he freeze?
Dawson,
Did Dawson
did he
freeze?
freeze?
I was gonna say because it just sounded like a robot. Said okay.
We can only kind of hear you.
You may want to turn off your video.
Uh-oh.
That's an unfortunate spot.
It was too exciting.
We lost you. All right, so we'll come back to Kirin and Yassin inside of the prison cell in the brig, but let's venture below deck. So
Internet died.
uh,
No.
Oh no.
no,
What about your phone, my guy?
Oh,
come back on your phone, man. He'll be back. Boy, that sucks. I hate when that happens.
I was gonna say that Nim like ran by and was like, "This is amazing! Oh my god! Welcome to the crew. Glad you're feeling better." And yeah, bye. Pretty much like.
All right, we'll see. We'll
I'll
give
do
him
it when
that.
he gets back, because I'm sure he'll enjoy that.
Okay, we're below deck.
Below deck.
So below deck, we're with Grim and Astrella, and I'll go ahead and bring up this music to play here. So you go down, you see a staircase to the right of where the brig is, and you travel, downloading Zoom for the phone.
Oh.
R.I.P. No, where'd my dad go?
That's okay. It shouldn't take too long. The two of you go down this stairwell, and it kind of turns and turns again until you're sort of walking back towards the captain's quarters, but a deck below. Down here, it's dark, and it takes a few seconds for your eyes to adjust. But when they do, you see this glowing aura that is probably directly in the center of the ship underneath the main mast. And in fact, you can see the mast kind of, again, it goes down all the way to the bottom deck of the ship. But around this mast, there's this glowing green aura. And that's all you can tell from your distance right now.
Can we do an Arcana check?
Yes,
Okay, I
you
just
can.
lost a die. I'm really mad.
You still have a dog there in your ways? No.
Oh, I hate these little, not heavy.
Oh, the plastic ones.
Yeah.
Once you've gone large metal, you don't go back, you know.
I'm not,
11.
11, okay.
honestly, I keep about a pair of like metal and plastic.
9.
Oh,
I didn't have my other die.
Go
So
find it.
the two of you aren't picking up a lot. You know that this is the source of the magic. You can feel its energies. Again, you're getting that weird taste in your mouth, but you're too far away to really tell what's going on.
So we can get closer.
You can get as close as you want.
I want to get closer.
Yeah, I'm gonna move closer as well.
Alrighty. So with Astrella in the lead, are you walking right up to it?
Yep.
Little unicorn.
Cool.
Yeah.
Unicorn.
As you get up to
My
this-
third eye is wide open, man. Let's go.
as you get up to it, you see that there is, oh, here he comes. I'll wait for him to connect because this is the good stuff. There he is. And
All right.
the audio is connecting, and the audio is connecting, and the audio is connecting.
It's impressive. I didn't
There he
see
is.
it.
Okay. Cool. So just to catch you up quickly, Dawson, you can't hear us, right? You good? Nope. He's connecting.
Connecting.
Connecting to audio.
Still connecting. Okay, now can you hear us?
Oh no!
Maybe not.
You may want to turn the camera
The
off.
data on. It sounds like I'm really out of pirate ship right now. All these freaking fireworks.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I feel that same.
Well, as Dawson keeps connecting, so as the two of you approach, when you get close, you can see that this aura starts to form into shapes as if they're glowing objects that were casting this glow. And the objects that you can see are the same triangles that you saw in the letter that you read, Grim.
Okay.
These are, they're not big, but probably about the size of like a typical head. And you see this golden triangle, but it emits this green glowing energy. And you see them in position left, right, and then forward, surrounding this mast.
He's here.
He's back.
There
So
we
to catch
go.
you up, Dawson, just to let you know, Astrella and Grim went below deck, got close to the mast, where they saw 3 glowing triangles that surrounded the mast that were emitting the energy from this ship.
Yeah, and they're in the shape of a large triangle.
Yes. Yep, but
Like
they're
on
not
the
connected. They're not connected like you saw on the paper, but in
Yeah.
a similar configuration. And you can clearly feel the energy coming off of them. This is the source of the magic that you were feeling of this otherworldly presence. Would you like
Okay.
to-
I think we either, I don't know. Estrella, what do you want to do?
What if we just grabbed one of the triangles, Melissa?
Okay, I'll grab the
I'm actually
other
done.
one.
Okay.
Are you gonna grab one with your metal arm?
Because that's what you do.
I have a question. Would it read better through my biological arm?
No, neither arm is better or worse for magical
anatomical arm, I guess. I don't know. Okay. Then I guess with my metal arm, what's the point if it doesn't really change?
So you're just gonna grab it?
Yeah.
Like, are you, so just so I'm clear, are you trying to touch it or are you trying to pull it and like lift it up off of the ground and like hold it?
Oh, it's not carved.
No, these are, so let
They're
me,
like actual,
yeah,
like,
to better describe it, they look like golden gems in the shape of a large triangle.
I don't think we should move them if we
Yeah.
don't know what they're doing.
Can I just do a perception check and see what else is down here with us?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, good one.
Roll
All right.
perception.
Cool. Let me not be chaotic for a little bit.
Wait, sorry, Yassin, for just like fainting. Apparently, like yeah, we're gonna go there.
Sorry.
You were
So
so
messed up.
Oh God.
12.
A 12.
Oh, I want to do one too. Maybe it's a little bit.
So are you trying just to see what's around you?
Yeah, just
Oh,
get
wait.
a vibe. What? Okay. I'm trying to get a vibe. I've seen the triangles. I want to see what else is in here.
Sure. This room where the triangles reside is pretty empty. Anything that exists is shoved into all of the corners, like physically touching the wall, as if they wanted to give these 3 gems a wide berth. But you can see stores of food and supplies, barrels, and that have apples in them, oranges, different foodstuffs. You see some cured meat that's hanging up on racks down here. You can tell this is probably like, you know, a storage supply area for mainly for foodstuffs. You also see some ammunition down here, some bowls for cannons and things like that. Perhaps barrels that say gunpowder on them near those.
Okay. Did she tell if anybody was down there though? Could she
There's
tell?
nobody. It's completely,
Okay.
yep, completely devoid of people right now.
Okay.
Okay. Then I want to touch. I don't want to pick it up.
Fair enough. I would like you to roll Arcana and roll a Wisdom saving throw. So let's do Arcana first. Give me your number for Arcana.
Dangerous.
19. Oh.
Okay.
Wait, +2. It's 21.
21. All right. And then go ahead and give me a Wisdom saving throw as well.
17.
17. Okay, cool. Here's what happens. We're going to go to Kirin and Yassin in the brig.
Damn.
We'll deal with Grim's touching of one of the gems in a second.
why you gotta touch stuff?
Editing, the power of editing.
Yassin and Kirin. Let's start with Kirin. So that's, you've gotten this vibe off of Yassin. You're in the brig together. You're by Aberath. You see Yassin heading over to Old Greg. What do you choose to do, Kirin, in this moment?
Has Yassin told me to like take Aberath or anything?
Oh well, we were outside and then now we're
Yeah.
inside.
Oh, gotcha.
So
We're
yeah,
walking
I
on.
brought you down here to get Aberath. He even though I think he's still passed out, and just kind of take him upstairs for a second.
You say it so kindly when you're devious. Like he's always like, and then I punch him in the face, and then he laughs like so innocently, and I'm just like,
Adorable.
really, this character.
Happy.
Such a happy guy.
I believe he's all right here. I also need to check on Greg too. I'll just walk over to Greg. Because I kind of put the blankets on him and stuff and see if he's finished with my flask, and I'll pick that up.
So nice. You,
You're just
All
going
right.
to run by the door and be like, guys, this is so much fun. Oh my gosh, you have to come out here.
Kirin and Yassin.
is Nim looking for everybody or something?
I think Nim's just having a good time.
Because I feel like Nim's gonna pop downstairs any minute, and I'm gonna be like,
Are either Greg or Aberath coherent right now?
Aberath is sleeping peacefully right now. Greg's awake. He has actually finished what's in the flask, and he's kind of thrown it off to the side, like in front of him, so that you could easily pick it up. And he's kind of like wrapped himself in the rags that you put on top of him, as if he's cold, and he's just sort of shivering a little bit as he looks up to see both Yassin and Kirin walking towards him, and he goes, "Back to finish the job, boy. About damn time."
I like kneel down to get my flask so that I'm really close to Greg, and kind of as we entered the room, Yassin's over there, and I look him directly in the eyes and I say, essentially, tell me your motives or you will not get what you want. Ooh. And I insight check him. Have I seen him in any of my like flashbacks, my previous history, anything? Do I recognize any connections to him or the crew?
Sure. So I'll let you use the same insight as before to make it quick. When you look at Yassin, you immediately see and remember him in the battle. I'm going to call it the Battle of the Realms, where you're at the tavern fighting the Night Walker and the Night Mother. And you remember seeing him in that battle. But what sticks out to you the most is that at the moment where Grim died and you were getting ready to fall back and you saw Mud holding the line, you watched Yassin come to Mud's side and you watched him erect this wall of water up towards the Night Mother and engulf her in this like sphere of water, doing his best to try and slow her down. You watched him die as a hero, and your mind is trying to reconcile who he became in that last moment and this sort of bloodthirsty, vengeance-driven pirate you see before you now.
Does Greg have any response to what I said to him, or I whispered to him?
Greg's just smiling. He's just looking at the two of you and grinning, and that's all he's going to give you right now. Yassin, what's your response?
So Kirin asked me what I'm going to do.
Yep. What's your motivation? What do you
Pain. Lots and lots of pain.
I guess I look at Kirin and I said, it's like the old man says, I'm here to finish the job. and then I'm just going to kind of like step past Kirin and go over to old Greg.
Ooh, you got the shove.
Well, it's not a shove. It's just a.
I just meant like out the way, like out the way.
Yeah. It's respectful, but it's also like
respectful shove.
Respectful shove.
Hold my beer.
but then so it's almost like
my earrings.
It's almost like a little deja vu moment. I'm back in front of Greg and I'm squatting in front of him.
Come on, Greg.
Yeah. And just kind of get back into that eye contact stance and ask him like, how did you get to this? Like, you took my ship from me and now you're here in the brig half dead while that is up there captaining the ship.
Somewhere Captain Persian goes, what the hell?
He goes, achoo! Achoo!
Guys.
Greg looks up at you and he goes, I tell you, same way where you are, boy. Trusting the wrong people. Trusting people. You trusted me. You trusted that crew. And we shanghaied your ass. And you know what? Apparently karma's a thing. Because it came right back to me the minute I trusted his dumb ass. And here we are, both prisoners aboard our ship. Sad state, isn't it?
Yassin just goes, it is sad. And then well, you tell me what, I'm going to say this, and then you tell me like if it's a thing.
Yeah, bring it,
Like
bring it.
Yassin doesn't know that Kirin gave him that flask of water, but I think Yassin knows that if he's alive, they've been supplying him with water. And so Yassin just like casts shake water and freezes the water inside Greg's stomach.
Oh, what a move.
Is it spiky water?
What a move.
Close, Grim. He freezes the water and then gives it that second of like gasping Greg, and then the water like spikes out through Greg.
Oh my god.
So, Kirin, here's what you witness. Do with it what you will. But as Yassin has moved past you and is talking to Greg, and you're sort of processing these memories of who you know Yassin was in the final moments of this battle, you feel this magical kind of like deadening of the space. Everything gets cold, and you can see your breath for a full like 10 seconds. And you watch as Greg just goes as his lungs and organs just freeze over. You watch his skin crackle as anywhere there was water inside or outside, all the perspiration and sweating from his sickness just freezes solid. And you see him shivering and gasping, his eyes glaze over with this frosty magic. And you hold it, Yassin, with your fist, and you enjoy this moment. And then as you breathe out, and we see this puff of hot air, you open your fingers, and it's almost like 1,000 tiny glasses shattering on the deck. You can hear all of this just, and you watch his skin crack. You see his eyes just and get shards like breaking glass in them. You can see his body sag as all the ice that was holding him together releases. And then you start to see blood just pour out of these cuts and gashes in his skin. And the life just ebbs out of him in one final hot breath that just steams up and dissipates. And Greg is dead.
Damn.
We
Damn.
cut, at that moment, we cut to Grim as her hand reaches to touch this glowing triangle of power and energy. Grim, pick a number between 1 and 3. Just
3.
3. Cool. All right.
I mean, unless you want to pick 2. Beat 'em.
Just off the top. There's a reason behind this.
Oh gosh.
As you reach down and touch this gem,
I picked 1. I lied.
you
I don't know what's gonna
you are immediately bombarded with this sense of power that courses up through your arm. Astrella, you see red energy move up her metal arm into her chest, up into her eyes, and it's not dangerous. Grim isn't gasping, there's no pain. Instead, you're feeling Grim power up. You're sensing that she is, for a brief moment, getting stronger. And in your mind, Grim, you see eyes and a face, red hair that shocks back, armor in a very regal and military fashion, green skin, bright, glowing white eyes. And you hear a voice going, "You have chosen wisely. Find me, and the power you seek will be yours." And then you feel all of that energy leave your body, and you go back to your strength level, and it feels as if you are weak. Even though you're at full power, you feel weak because for a second you tasted what it was like to be a god among mortals. Such power you have never felt in your entire life. And you can almost feel Alexander like breathing down your neck, just salivating at this power that he felt as well.
Oh yeah, because yeah.
Uh-oh.
And the moment is gone. And as you lift your hand off of it, everything goes back to normal. At this time, every single one of you on board the ship, I want you to give me a dexterity saving roll, please.
Okay.
Dex save.
We're going overboard.
Oh, I'm not doing great. 11.
11,
16.
16,
8.
8.
8.
I match Astrella. 8.
Well, damn, the three of you got 8.
We all got 8.
You had to beat a 10. This was a low dex save in my head, a 10.
Oh, what are we doing?
All right.
Where are we flying on deck?
So, all right, I'm gonna do some
Little
quick
girls trip. Let's go.
damage here.
Next call.
We're
All right,
mermaids.
so, oh, that's too high. Let me roll again. That's just me.
I can't swim.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do like a 2. Those of you
We're
that
Garber.
rolled 8, so Astrella, Grim, and Nim, you
Yep.
take 2 damage because here's what happens. Something slams into the side of the ship. Boom, and you feel her list and turn to one side, and all of you are thrown off balance. Kirin and Yassin inside of the prison cell, the two of you almost use each other for support and brace against the no, don't embrace it.
They hug, love it.
After this crazy death, we're both like,
We like say,
Like Zoink Scoob.
You brace against the jail cells and each other and sort of balance yourself. Being on the top deck, this is a little bit easier for the two of you to do. Astrella and Grim, the two of you are thrown off and you kind of slam into the cannonballs that are there, and you kind of feel your back just kind of hit against that. And again, you're taking 2 points of damage from that, but you are on your feet and making your way up deck to see what the hell happened. Nim, where are you when this happens?
on
I
the
was sitting on a barrel playing my pantsuit with somebody's pirate hat on my head.
And so there is, I like that. Cool. You
That was
are
very
completely
descriptive.
taken off guard as the ship just kind of just boom, just slams. And you from the deck, you can see just how far this ship turned. And as you kind of fall, you catch yourself, but you slide and slam chest against the deck.
Oof.
And before the ship rights herself, you see 3 people just tumble over into the water. And in that moment where you see them hit, the same things that you saw swirling around the maelstrom are there. And you just watch them swim back and forth, fast as mermaids, and you see blood in the water. Those 3 pirates are dead. The ship shifts back. And you feel everything settle as the ship rocks back and forth. The captain bursts.
Caught my hat.
You have your hat if you want. You shift back and forth. The captain bursts out of his cabin and just starts calling, "Report! What the hell happened? What did we hit?" You see the remaining pirates looking overboard, trying to figure out what is going on. In the distance, you can see that your speed has increased and you are getting closer to the maelstrom. What would have taken hours is now going to happen in minutes. Something is pushing the boat. And you hear different helmsmen call out, "Aye, Captain, we seem to have increased speed." "Oh, I got no control over the rudder, sir. There's nothing I can do about it." You're watching the wheel just sort of spin and move. Another flash and a lurch to one side. Everyone's able to catch themselves. 2 more pirates fall overboard. They're dead.
We're losing.
I'm taking out all your allies if you hadn't noticed.
Thanks.
You're welcome. You see that the sigil has gone from pulsing green to red.
Oh.
Grim, no.
And right at the moment where the captain has reached the sigil to look at it and is literally going, "What the hell?" And he's trying to figure out what's happening.
Then touch it.
You hear this sploosh and splashing sound.
Don't laugh behind your screen.
Oh, this is too much fun.
Can I run to
It
the
is the
sigil?
splooshing sound.
Can I run to the sigil?
You can run to the sigil. What do you want to do?
Touch it while it's red.
You, of course you do.
You with
When
the
you
touch.
touch it, all you can feel is the faint presence of that voice that spoke to you and this sense of calling, as if this entity is pulling the ship towards the maelstrom.
Can I talk to him?
Roll Arcana.
Fuck.
Mm.
7? I don't talk to him.
As you reach out, what do you want to say?
I'm gonna be like, "Where are you taking us?" If I feel like he's the one taking us somewhere, I'd be like, "What up?"
I'm imagining Dory trying to speak whale with that roll.
Can
Where are you taking us? All you get is this impression that makes you believe to me. You don't hear a voice, you just feel to me. Ooh. As you hear this splooshing sound, on the deck land 5 figures. One of them looks like a mage, covered in pulsing water and energy. The other 4 are tritons, mermaid people that live in the water. Each of them brandishes a weapon and points it at you. And you hear this voice come from the mage, and he says, "The ship is ours."
Damn, why is your ship so popular?
Because it's a good ass ship.
I knew what he said, and he says, "I was like, his ship is ours." What? Oh man, it's
And that is where we will end tonight's session.
Oh.
I'm not the right
On that cliffhanger.
Oh man.